Your main event of the evening is a special six-man tag team match scheduled for one fall. Your referee, Joe Mandak.
It's main event time here at November Pain, and I just can't imagine how shameless that was by the Koga brothers. But we're going to move on from that to six-man tag team competition, because there's a lot of moving parts in this matchup, and this is as a result of a knee in protest last month, where these guys wanted an opportunity. They wanted main events, but be careful what you wish for, Mr. Steele.
Well, Joe, I don't think they're getting exactly what they wanted. I think you may have misconstrued the message, as a lot of people do with
Oh, no. I did just blatantly gave them what they wanted. They agreed to me every step in the way. Well, until maybe the end. It's locked and loaded. Chris LeRusso has certainly assembled a very intimidating army around him to protect his cause and interests, to prove himself as the heir apparent, and also to protect himself from all of the people that really, really want to hurt him badly right now. And there's going to be three on the opposing side of the team, opposing side of the ring. I'll get it right. But Chris LeRusso, Gannon Jones Jr., Duke Davis, man, they ran through Jackson Stone with a double choke slam a month ago. And I'll tell you what, Duke Davis has been pretty much unstoppable, hasn't been taken off his feet as of yet in Premier Championship Wrestling. Gannon Jones Jr., a natural athlete. But what a test they're about to face, including this man that LeRusso is scared to death of.
Well, Joe, he can be maybe a little perturbed, but when you got locked and loaded in front of you, there's a confidence.
It's the CZW new world champion as of last week. Rickey Shane Page defeating Joe Gacy in Sewell, New Jersey for the CZW World Championship a week ago. I've never seen somebody that is in so many violent altercations, but always with a smile on his face, the baby-faced assassin and the CZW World Champion. Rickey Shane Page lost to Ron Malthus over the summer because Chris LeRusso threw a bundle of light tubes at Ricky's skull. Rickey hadn't forgotten about that.
That's certainly something I never thought we'd hear, that Chris LeRusso threw a bundle of light tubes at anybody's skull. I got a question thrown at Rickey Shane Page.
And Ricky's only the beginning. Jackson Stone is the suplex shogun, but he was the victim of a double chokeslam a month ago, and he's been a target of LeRusso, Gannon, and Duke since day one. Gannon and Jackson Stone have had many battles and altercations in their own right, usually surrounding the use of a steel chair. There's the champion. You gotta wonder what the mental state is of Andrew Palace as we are underway already. Palace was mentally, psychologically defeated by Ron Malthus last month as Rickey Shane Page is chasing LeRusso under the ring. They're not wasting time. Palace was goaded into using his championship as a weapon. He lost by disqualification. There's a return match with Palace and Malthus in 2 weeks where Palace is disqualified. He'll lose the title. Is that weighing heavily on Palace's mind as action goes every which way in the early going?
Well, I'll tell you, it certainly should be on his mind because we saw Andrew Palace just snap, just lose it. And if that happens again, he's no longer champion. But speaking of losing it, where's LeRusso?
We lost LeRusso, but Palace now into locked and loaded and just got shrugged off. Oh, that's combined well over 500 pounds. Palace tried to take down, but Stone, the 300-plus pounder, gets the job done.
Joe, we still don't have Chris LeRusso.
Well, Rickey Shane Page wants... Oh, Rickey found him! They just came out the other side of the ring! You can hear those gasps and screams. Rickey...
Please, I'm sorry.
Now, Chris apologized. Isn't that good?
Yeah, let's cancel the match. That's enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Duke Davis from behind.
Tell Lendl to ring the bell.
No, I'm not going to do any such thing. Of course, LeRusso's only sorry because he got caught.
I think LeRusso's apology was very heartfelt.
Yeah, because he's fearing for his life right now.
That may be, but it was still heartfelt.
Duke Davis. About, what, 270 pounds at least in his own right?
If he's an ounce, absolutely.
Gannon Jones Jr. right behind him there.
How many times can Rickey Shane Page say that he doesn't have the size advantage? I mean, or doesn't have the reach advantage?
Oh, very true. Check out the extension of the leg by Gannon Jones Jr., Pro Wrestling's all-star with his playbook never far behind. And, oh.
See there, Chris was brave. He got in there.
Yeah, that's the mark of bravery. He's halfway in the parking lot.
Well, he's taking a breather.
Duke, go ahead.
And he's directing traffic, telling Duke, hey, go in there, do your thing.
Yeah, anybody but him, right?
Well, Joe, he's a player coach in this scenario. It's actually much, much harder. It's very impressive. See, that now he's getting in there.
Now that Rickey Shane Page is down, and he got out of there as quickly as he got in. He almost forgot to tag.
Well, that's
how in a hurry he was to run from Rickey Shane Page.
It's like Milton Berle said to Richard Pryor, you got to pick your spots, kid. There, how you like that for a reference?
That's even more outdated than your Tommy Lee reference. As Rickey Shane Page hits a spin kick on Gannon. Here comes Jackson Stone. Issues between these two stemming back several months, BC.
Well, certainly, we saw Jackson Stone and put his nose where it didn't belong, as you mentioned about Nate Wings earlier, and Locked and Loaded had to take him down a few pegs.
No, Jackson Stone came out to save this young kid Kalam from a 3-on-1 assault by LeRusso and Locked and Loaded. Jackson did the right thing, as Palace now sent in as an offensive weapon, gets 2 on Gannon.
We must be watching different things when we call these shows. Do you have a secret monitor? Because I look at things vastly different, and I feel that I'm correct.
Yeah, that's the problem. Jackson Stone now in there hammering on Gannon. This is just power on power at this time. Here comes Rickey Shane Page. You can do a little bit of everything.
Well, Joe, you think of the big hosses. Locked and Loaded, Jackson Stone, Rickey Shane Page. Hopefully the ring is reinforced.
We're a pretty long way from the welterweight division, aren't we?
Well, absolutely. These guys are going to throw around some steel, no doubt. Not me.
Well, Palace a leg drop with the assist of Page. If Gannon and Jackson have their way about it, it might be a steel chair. 2 count only there. Keep in mind, Rickey Shane Page was the first man to defeat Gannon Jones Jr. in Premier Championship Wrestling.
A fact that I'm sure Gannon Jones Jr. has not since forgotten. Would love to get a modicum of a revenge.
Gannon trying to tag Duke, but Jackson Stone down with a splash. 2 count only. And Jackson's another one of those athletes where every time you see him, he gets a little better, a little more confident, a little bit better shape. He is rapidly enhancing his game, and there could be no ceiling to what Jackson Stone can do in Premier Championship Wrestling.
Well, Joe, look, I'm going to go out.
LeRusso the knee. He made him mad. And Gannon from behind again, dividing and conquering here.
The sheer bravery.
Oh, look at that, 300 pounds! And Stone got dropped on his head.
The sheer bravery of Chris LeRusso. Jackson Stone, a guy that has the advantage.
This could be it. Jackson Stone powers out quickly.
The height and weight advantage, a bully, and Chris LeRusso stood up to him. That's a man you can be proud of. I'm certainly proud of him. But I hope you're sitting down for this. I'm actually going to say something nice. I know, it's a phrase. I know you're sitting down. But I actually think that 2018 could be the year of Jackson Stone. I think if he stays focused and maybe let somebody guide his career and take their 10%, big things could be happening for Jackson Stone.
Well, that's assuming Jackson Stone can get out of this matchup healthy.
Well, being in there with 3 hosses like Duke Davis, Gannon Jones Jr., and Chris LeRusso, he's got his work cut out for him. Yeah, 3 hosses. Don't give me that look.
Well, Duke has Jackson Stone trapped, and Duke Davis is the biggest hoss of them all because nobody's really figured out Duke Davis yet.
Well, it's certainly not an easy puzzle to put together.
Jackson went for the suplex. Could the suplex Shogun actually elevate Big Duke Davis?
Well, It would certainly be the biggest suplex of his career. Now, I have a question for you. Is there any update to the protest and legal filings on the tag team title tournament with Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr.? They did protest, you know.
There's the stomp as Gannon Jones Jr. springs in. Down with a cover. 2 count only. Palace gets involved, and you can see the frantic nature of Palace. Palace doesn't want LeRusso, Gannon, or Duke gaining any momentum, because keep in mind, Ron Mathis has an association with these gentlemen as well, and if Palace loses before arguably the biggest title match of his career, that's going to rent a lot of space in Palace's head. But to answer your question about the tag team championship issue, yeah, Gannon and Duke still think they were screwed over because they were counted out. They think, quote, count out shouldn't count, as LeRusso should not get under the skin of Rickey Shane Page. And I know Gannon and Duke are going to be looking at the tag team championship, certainly, as the months go ahead. But again, right now they have a daunting task in front of them. And if LeRusso is taunting Rickey Shane Page, that may be the last thing Chris LeRusso ever does.
It's not taunting.
What would you call it?
I'd call it pretty funny.
Oh! Nice spinning back kick by LeRusso.
You got to give Chris LeRusso. I think Rickey Shane Page is afraid of Chris. How about that? I think it's all bravado, and I think if it comes to brass tacks,
Weren't you around for the chase at the start of the match and the apology and all that?
Well, that was just Chris playing mind games with him.
I see.
Yeah, Chris had him right where he wanted him. Don't you worry.
Well, Locked and Loaded and LeRusso certainly have Jackson Stone where they want him right now. Stone's been neutralized from his corner for the past several minutes. And when you're 305 pounds, you don't have stamina to survive, 60 minutes. You're not built to go long distances. It's short spurts of offense for Stone. That's why the suplex is such an important part of his arsenal. And the longer Stone is in this ring, certainly the more against the wall here, against the ropes figuratively, he's going to be. Now literally against the ropes, but get a drop kick.
A guy who is 6'5" with ease just did a drop.
Rickey makes the save. Here comes Duke.
Again, 2 guys that are that size are very, very, and that agile are very, very hard to find. And they're both here in Premier, and they're both on the same team, and that's scary.
Now, notice a moment ago for that tag, Gannon holding on to Jackson Stone so Stone couldn't get to Page and Palace.
Dude, that's just smart tag team wrestling, and there's Palace. You said earlier about renting space at Andrew Palace's head. There's probably a lot of room. It's just a hamster going on a wheel about 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Well, you can sense the impatience, that frenetic energy building up in Page's, and especially the champion Palace, as Duke uses all of his body weight in the corner. Oh, wait a second. Could we have a one-man choke slam? It was 2 men who elevated Stone a month ago. Duke's going to drill him. No! Stone counters. Look at this! Duke Davis got dropped with a German suplex.
And more importantly, that put Duke Davis as far away from his corner as he can be. And Joe, when you're 6'5", you're always in proximity. But that was smart by Jackson Stone.
Can Stone get the tag? Duke is crawling to his corner as well.
I think Palace is going to have a coronary.
Here comes LeRusso. Here comes Palace. Oh, the shotgun drop kick. And we've seen Palace have his wars, look out, official, with all of these men over the months. And you're seeing why Palace is the embodiment of Premier Championship Wrestling. Why he has proudly held that title. He's taken on the world. Up LeRusso with a double sliced bread.
Gannon able to hold on a little bit, but I think he had that neck get jacked back.
Hernian driver, and Gannon's there.
A smart move by Gannon, able to recover.
Palace tagged Rickey. Stone's in there as well. This thing is breaking down. Oh, LeRusso got a knee up on Page.
You're right. LeRusso wins.
And now they've got Jackson Stone again.
1, 2, 3.
A triple kick. But a triple reciprocation by Team Palace. We saw Palace and LeRusso for the Premier title back at War of Attrition. That's on DVD and MP4. They're continuing this rivalry. Back suplex connects. And it's Page on the outside, I believe, with Gannon. Jackson Stone is hurt. Duke in the ring! Duke got in the ring and just drilled Palace with that choke bomb.
And Joe, at this point, I don't even know or remember who the legal man is. We got action going on all sides of the ring.
And Jackson,
Can he do it?
T-bone, he just drilled Duke Davis with another suplex. I don't know if there's anybody in this world that could have suplexed Duke Davis twice in this matchup like that.
That might be the first 2 suplexes he's ever received in his life.
Here comes Gannon with a Finley roll. And that wasn't pretty, but Gannon got enough of it to keep Jackson Stone down, elevating his body, and Page the twist of fate.
May have just broken Gannon Jones Jr. Up, lights out. It's over, Joe.
The kick connects. And that's a LeRusso specialty right there.
CCW World Champion! I just killed Rickey!
He just calls himself the CCW World Champion.
That's
What-
fair. I
what
believe.
an idiot.
Uh-oh. Oh, Chris, turn around. Chris!
And
Chris!
Page to his feet.
Oh, this isn't going to be good.
The hurling elbow. Choke breaker. Ricky Shane Page gets revenge. Oh, and we're not done yet. That's Gannon from behind.
Oh, that was cowardice on Ricky Shane Page attacking poor Chris LeRusso from behind, who had just won the CZW World Championship.
We are still fighting, and it's Stone and Gannon. Their issues may never be settled. Look out, everybody to the floor.
Joe, do we have enough manpower in this building to break this up?
Now Duke's in the crowd. Duke's stealing a chair. Gannon and Jackson Stone are beating the hell out of each other on the ramp. Oh, wait, LeRusso got the plastic bag. Oh, but Page broke through it. That plastic bag that was used to suffocate Page by Malthus. Oh, look at this. Oh, pile driver on the ramp.
Now tell me that was called for.
Page just dropped LeRusso. It was absolutely called for because LeRusso tried to suffocate Page.
Oh, so he tried to suffocate a big dummy. Big deal.
LeRusso is unconscious.
Oh, Joe, look at this.
Oh, Palace doesn't see Davis. Davis has been waiting in the wings, and Davis took the knee out of Palace.
Well, Joe, you know the old term, like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
And a choke bomb again. Oh, is Palace even going to be 100% for Ron Mathis in 2 weeks? Page runs Duke Davis out of here, but it is absolute chaos. LeRusso's been drilled. Gannon and Jackson Stone are still fighting, and Palace's knee is injured 2 weeks before the biggest title fight of his life.
And we need help for Chris LeRusso.
The winners of this bout, the team of Jackson Stone, Andrew Palace, and Ricky Shane Page.
And it looked like even Duke Davis wanted to get out of there. He didn't want a piece of Ricky Shane Page. He left LeRusso to the Wolves. Palace will get to his feet, but barely, if that. He's got a lot of work to do if it comes to being prepared for Ron Mathis in 2 weeks. Is Ron Mathis our next premier champion?
Well, Joe, at this point, I'll throw back a question to you at the end of this, but Andrew Palace has a bum wheel, and going up against Ron Mathis, you need as much health, as much mobility, and as much ability as you can have. With Palace having a bum leg, that's not going to happen, so I throw it back to you. Does Ron Mathis have the advantage going into this matchup?
Psychologically, absolutely. Physically, you gotta believe it. 2 proud champions, CZW and Premier, but Andrew Palace is on his way to the biggest title fight of his life.